Imagine standing over 1,400 feet in the air, gripping cold metal as winds threaten to push you off the Empire State Building. For Russian roof-toppers Angelina Nicolaou and Ivan Kausnitz, extreme heights like this aren't terrifying. They treat the edges of skyscrapers as a playground to generate content for their millions of social media followers. Reaching the 1,454-foot mark on the building's antenna was the setup for their biggest stunt yet. Balancing on a narrow lower platform, Ivan dropped to one knee and asked Angelina to marry him. To them, and to the audience watching on their screens, this isolation above the New York skyline represented the ultimate fairy tale. The proposal was heavily choreographed. They unfurled a massive black banner into the wind, displaying a specific message for the cameras. When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. The immediate aftermath was captured with total precision. She happily accepted. They shared a kiss and paused to admire the ring, making sure to perfectly frame the photographs they'd upload later. The couple's history of high-stakes climbs was documented in the Netflix film Skywalkers, showing a life spent in pursuit of the next summit. Their shared focus on illegal ascents meant their world often began and ended at the edge of a rooftop. They became entirely obsessed with crafting their cinematic love story. But that strict focus on capturing the perfect aesthetic blinded them to the massive legal, physical, and civic reality unfolding directly beneath their feet. In this archival shot of the Empire State Building, the true scale of their climb becomes apparent. The top antenna is structurally isolated from public observation decks. This heavily secured section is an explicitly unauthorized zone, completely off-limits to visitors. Bypassing those strict security measures to execute a climb of this magnitude requires taking on severe physical risk. There are no harnesses, no safety nets, and no emergency rescue teams waiting if a climber slips. The couple treated the spire as a romantic backdrop, but to the building's management, the climb was a major breach of the city's most sensitive airspace. While they celebrated in the clouds, the ground level looked entirely different. The NYPD and emergency crews scrambled to the scene, immediately establishing perimeters and prepping to handle a potential disaster. Officers on the upper observation platforms tried to coax the climbers down, shouting over the wind. The tension was only amplified by a language barrier, as the police quickly realized the couple was responding in Russian. Down below, everyday New Yorkers heading to lunch had their workdays abruptly halted. Instead of feeling inspired by the couple's banner, crowds stared up at the sky in confusion and anxiety, wondering if they needed to evacuate the area. Authorities had to shut down traffic on the surrounding streets and lock down the block to ensure public safety while the situation played out overhead. While the banner above called for global peace, the response on the ground required emergency mobilization, tens of thousands in public resources, and a state of high alert across several city blocks. The climb down eventually brought the couple back to street level, where their high-altitude illusion was met by dozens of waiting police officers. The fairy tale officially ended the moment their boots touched the pavement. Officers moved in and swiftly arrested the pair, who surrendered without resistance. They face severe legal weight. The couple was hit with 4 distinct criminal charges: burglary, reckless endangerment, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. The justice system simply does not recognize a grand romantic gesture as a valid defense for committing a multi-charge high-rise felony. Management for the Empire State Building issued strict condemnations following the incident, reinforcing their zero-tolerance policy against any unauthorized climbs. Online, the couple's supporters flooded their comment sections with praise for the stunning visuals. But outside that digital bubble, critics pointed out the intense danger forced upon first responders and the public who had no choice but to participate in their stunt. Performing for a digital audience can create a specific kind of tunnel vision regarding the consequences left on the pavement. The proposal footage will remain on their social media feeds, but they return home facing a future defined by a multi-charge criminal record.